You're listening to Grant's Rants. Subscribe and spread the word. There are a lot more rants to come. Listen anytime on all major podcasting platforms. And now, back to the show.
And we're back on the podcast. Thank you for checking out part 2. I'm joined by Jacques Peterson calling in from Sydney, Australia. Welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks.
I want to talk about hashtag Free Britney. I feel like very few people cover this, although now there's been a lot out there. It's completely reignited, which I'm very happy to see. Let's talk about Free Britney. I think it came back into the forefront because of this asshole Kanye West running for president. It seemed to really spark things. So I have no interest. I don't talk about Kardashians on here. I can't be bothered talking about Kanye. I think we're way too serious here in the States of a situation to be joking around with having a celebrity run, to have someone like Kanye run. I can't even acknowledge it. I think it's dangerous. It's not funny. It's not cute. Go the F away. That's my opinion on him. They both, Kanye and Britney, were hospitalized for mental illness. So one of them lost their rights as a human. The other gets to run for president. So that's why people are pissed, and I don't blame them. So there's been a variety of strange videos on Instagram. What do you think? Have you been following Britney recently?
Yeah, I'm a former Britney stan. Like, I was a super, super, super hardcore stan. I sort of jumped off the boat around when Femme Fatale came out because I just saw the writing was on the wall. I'm like, you could just tell that she wasn't herself and that it was never going to be the same again. So I check in with her sporadically. I have seen her weird Instagram. It's really entertaining to me. It's also really confusing. I didn't think I didn't think she was allowed to have access to social media freely. So I don't know. Is she doing these posts?
She didn't up until about a year ago, and that was her team being able to say, look, Britney can do what she wants. Britney can go online. Because, yeah, she really was not active up until about a year ago when all this stuff came to light.
Oh, okay. So is it kind of like they've given her social media to make it look like she's okay? Is that the theory?
That was the theory. Yeah. I mean, she's had to do a couple, which is odd because, like, I don't have to do this. Rihanna doesn't have to do this. But Britney has had to go and do like some like, hey guys, I'm okay. Like, I'm cool. Like, everything's okay. Like, it's weird. Like, who else did you like, are you alive checks, on social media?
I know. But then there is this whole Free Britney movement. There's like protests and stuff. So someone has to say anything. What is the consensus with the fans? So when Britney says I'm okay, do we take that as like, okay, well, she's okay, she's telling us she's okay, or is the theory that like her manager's writing that or something?
Oh, I mean, I don't think she's pressing share on Instagram. I think she's making these videos and sending them out, and someone's posted them for her, and she's probably studied in the captions and all that. But I mean, is this being policed and watched? I'm sure it is. She has posted some things that have been like, like, I don't know, memes and things that make you question. There's a long, I should do like a whole special on this, but but the consensus is a lot of confusion. Different fans have said, if you need help, wear blue. Then the next video, she's wearing blue. If you need help more, wear yellow. The next video, she's in yellow. I don't know if this is real. But I mean, I'm seeing it happen. I don't know if this is a call for help. But in a recent post this week, she said, I'm going to quote Britney. At least I think she wrote this. She said, I get how some people might not like my posts or even understand them, but this is me being happy. This is me being authentic and as real as it gets. I want to inspire people to do the same and just be themselves without pleasing others. That's the key to happiness. She wrote on Instagram. So that kind of like people are saying, including like E! News, like she's okay. She's asking everybody to like, to calm down. I don't really take it that way. I think it's like, okay, she says this is her. She's her being happy. I mean, it doesn't mean that she would be any less happy being out of the conservatorship.
Yeah, so. I agree. I mean, I think that statement does sound exactly like something that she would write. So that does sound like her to me. Some of the Free Britney stuff I feel like is veering into QAnon territory. Maybe the two should team up and try and crack the case. But I do think that she needs the conservatorship lifted, of course. I mean, she even expressed it back in the For the Record documentary, which was from like when Circus came out, and she said she missed being freedom and her being able to go and do what she wants. But I don't know. Like I said, I was a former fan. I kind of had to take a step back because it's just it just screws with your mind, because it's like you just don't know what's going on. It's really weird, and I don't really see any end to it. I mean, it is good that there is this Free Britney movement now, but I also I don't think that Britney's normal. I think that she is having there are certain mental health issues at play for sure. I think it's just a super complicated situation.
I agree with you on all of that. I think that nobody cares enough to get her meds right. It's just, this is my opinion from my own perception of her. I just don't think anyone cares enough to be able to figure out the right balance that she needs with medication. I don't blame her for being a little off and being on social media. I mean, this is someone who never had the chance to be, a 20-year-old chick on Instagram with, the dog filter. I mean, she just never had a chance to be fun and youthful. So this is her living that out, but also again, someone who had a mental breakdown, someone who was a child star, and this has come out even further, it's well documented, that they kept using her kids, the threat of taking her kids away from her if she fought this conservatorship. She tried to get her own lawyer. Because she's under the conservatorship, she cannot legally attain an attorney. They took her kids away from her not once but twice. Now this man came out, Andrew Gallery, her photographer, her in-house photographer. He read a note on TikTok. It was written in the third person by Britney, but those who know Britney know her handwriting. And it details just like the divorce with Kevin, the pain of losing her sons, the constant threats and the controlling people around her. And he claims she wanted him to get this letter out, but he was under contract, and now he feels like it's too serious and so much time has passed that he wants to get this out.
Look, there's a few things there. I just want to say, first of all, I don't think it's an issue of getting her medication right. I think it's a lot bigger than that. I mean, I feel like after she had her mental breakdown and then she got back with her manager and stuff, I think they should have slowly acclimated her again to real life and to being self-sufficient. Because, I mean, when she had her breakdown, that was her getting rid of all of her management and doing her own thing, and she completely spiraled out of control. She had people like Sam Lufty come in and take advantage of her. She couldn't cope. So I think that 10 years ago we needed to do something where she was kind of gradually learning to be self-sufficient and do things for herself. I don't think that just getting the right cocktail of medication for her
well, yeah, I agree, but there's no motivation for anyone to do that, though, other than for Britney.
Of course. And I wonder if it's too late now. Also, I think it's disgusting that she can't have her own lawyer. I mean, I feel like a lot of the feminist groups and even the groups for, supporting people with mental health issues should kind of be getting in on this, because regardless of what the issue is, she should have her own legal counsel. She should. There does need to be more transparency with this, I think, because there is so much public interest and there's so much concern out there for her. But again, I don't know. It's really depressing. I just feel like there's.
I don't feel. I mean, I can totally understand why she spun out of control. I mean, I totally get it. Yeah. Who wouldn't?
For sure, absolutely. And it's I think all of us as a society, we look back and we're like, oh, we get it now. Whereas at the time, as it was happening, a lot of us were kind of watching it like it was sort of this kind of train wreck thing playing out in the tabloids, and we're all gawking. It's like, oh my God, crazy Britney, what's she done now? And now, society's changed a lot, and we look back on it in retrospect and we get it.
Right. And I still claim that I feel like I know maybe 10% of the real story here. And this is just stuff that's been leaked, people have said. And, I feel like it's just the tip of the iceberg, unfortunately. And I can only imagine, as a human being, having to go through that. And I hate that, my fave Britney out of all the celebrities out there has to be the one to go through all this. I just have always said, and I was at one of the original rallies for Free Britney here in West Hollywood, and it was always about having an independent investigation into the conservatorship to see if it was being abused. That's what I've called for. I don't know Britney. She may well need this, but at least investigate it, because those who are under conservatorship, so those who can't feed and clothe themselves. I mean, she's on an international tour in a fire ring. I mean, like, give me a break.
I agree. I 100% agree with that. They need an independent investigation. I went and saw her circus tour twice in Sydney. It was freaking awesome. And yeah, you can't make the argument that this person can't have access to a mobile phone even, or make any legal decisions whatsoever for themselves, but they can record albums, tour the world, do press, do photo shoots. Like, come on, like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. And the fact that they've like loosened up with her over the last year, where she's been making a couple more appearances, and she's, public with the boyfriend, and she's on Instagram. I mean, like, it just goes to show they know they pushed it too far, way further than it needed to be, and that they had too many rules on her. So I hate it. I hate it because I just want her to be well, whatever that is. And if she never does another album again, who cares? Oh, this is such a frustrating story.
I've said this for so long. I mean, it was one reason I got annoyed with the fandom back in the day, because I really felt like it was obvious that something was wrong. And I was kind of like, who cares if she does her music? Like, get her fixed up. But I felt like so much of the public, they just wanted, sexy Britney in her kind of, on stage in her, like, lingerie, whatever she wears on there, like shaking her butt to some, like, hot pop song, and they kind of didn't really care. It was like, oh, as long as we get that, it's fine. And I really am glad to see the Free Britney movement now. I mean, it's long overdue. The Free Britney movement should have been happened around circus, femme fatale, but better late than never.
Yep. And a hearing is scheduled to take place this summer. So let's hope that comes through. What does it say? It's scheduled to take place on August 6th. It's an order to show cause hearing. And I hear it's going to be virtual, so hopefully they won't effing cancel it. And just give this woman a moment to, show her some respect as a human being, please. I'm dying to see what's going to come of this. We've been strung along now for over a year. I can only imagine how she must feel because she's wanted to get out of this, like you said, from that For the Record DVD. So, yeah, my thoughts are with her. Who knows? Let's chat about cancel culture, just from a Page 6 perspective. There was an article that came out and it said, this is on Page 6. I encourage people to read it. It's titled, "What is Cancel Culture? Everything you need to know about the toxic online trend." And first of all, I was impressed for Page 6 because they actually spoke to different, I think a psychologist or whatever. They really looked at it for what it is, and it wasn't just it's the new thing that everybody's doing. It was actually why is this? What is this? And it's for those who don't know, it's a form of banishment. It's it's the modern form of banishment. Get out of here. You're done. Get out of here. We don't want to see you or hear from you anymore. Because we don't agree with you. And, I have to be honest with you. I'm happy that these Karens are getting canceled and people are getting these people fired. I don't find Karens very funny. I don't think it's entertaining. I personally hate it. So I'm for that.
Yeah, look, I'm very conflicted on cancel culture. I generally, as a rule, I hate it. I feel like people get cancelled over the most stupid things. But yeah, when it's a Karen in a parking lot calling someone the N-word and everything, yes, please cancel her. Get rid of this person. Yeah, there are certain things that are cancelable, but I do feel like it goes too far. I hate the let's cancel someone over an old tweet or an old Facebook post or something from
Jenna
back
Marbles,
when you were 20.
Yeah, Jenna Marbles canceled herself.
That was ridiculous. That was absurd.
Nobody asked her to do that. That's the thing. So there are two sides to this thing that really drive me crazy. It's what was I going to say? It's if you do the right thing and you say the right things, then you don't have to worry about cancel culture. But there is another side to it, and I see it all the time with Twitter and Instagram with comments. You can put something out there that is just straight up, and people will find a way to spin it. And because they add such fuel to that fire with all these comments, that now a very innocuous, easy comment or tweet is now covered in this terrible lens of you're so wrong and this is what's wrong about you personally, and it's crazy how things can be spun out of control. And that's what I worry about, because it's like, like I put on Twitter, I'm uncomfortable with Twitter and the media, aka The View, pointing and laughing at Karens. In my opinion, it's not funny. It's sad and scary. These people are out there. They vote. We know them. This is how I felt. Of course, most people agree with me, except one person had to say, so we should treat them like fragile little snowflakes, is what you're saying. And I wrote back and said, I just reread my tweet. No, I didn't say that. But that's what I mean. Like, how quickly people can say, oh yeah, so by me saying that this is a serious thing means to this person that they should be treated extra special. Not true, but you see how it can spin out. That's what I worry about. That's where it gets too far.
Exactly, but that's why I think that we need to not be cancelling. I think we need to have less cancellation, because the thing is that once you start it, then it's going to happen on like the situation that you said, where someone is going to twist your words, because there's no end to it. I think there are definitely, like I said, there are clear-cut cases. If we catch someone in like real time, or like recently going on like a racist or a homophobic, like a rant, or saying something crazy, like I get that. That makes sense. Don't cancel people for problematic things that they said years ago that they've grown out of. Like, take into account that people change and grow. Look at yourself. And I mean, it's like there's no one that has never said something problematic. Like, I'm sorry, like no one's perfect. Even if you were like 17 and you're with your friends, like in private, you probably said something sexist or something. Like, come on. So I just think that people need to ease off. And yeah, I'm definitely scared. Like, I'm someone like you. I'm super opinionated. I like barely have any filter. I'm on Twitter all the time, and I'm really scared to say certain things now because of how they're going to be misconstrued. Like, even when not to go back on Beverly Hills, but when the season started, after a few episodes, I didn't like Garcelle. I was scared to say that I didn't like Garcelle, because she's the first Black housewife. The show has obviously needed diversity. I'm all about that. I'm glad. I didn't like her because I didn't like some of her storylines and that she wasn't showing up for the show. And, I was kind of scared to share my opinion about it, because I know like someone's going to twist it. They're going to say, oh, what, you don't want women of color on Beverly Hills, and then you're going to look like a racist. So
exactly, which is not your opinion at all. Yes. Of course, I get it. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm so highly critical, but like I say, I'm an equal opportunity hater when it comes to like, if I don't like you, I don't like you. Like, that's it. I mean, it's just that simple. But it's not that simple to people who can find things, take things out of context and twist things. And, I've become increasingly more careful on how I word things, even though those who listen to this show, you know me, you know what I'm about to say, and you know how I feel. And like, it's kind of like with me, I always feel like it's like the Judge Judy effect. Like, in our opening titles of Judge Judy, she winks and she lifts up the blindfold and she winks. It's like, that's like, you know what I mean? Like, I say this all in a good spirit. But people, are just dying to find some way to really gaslight you and really like illuminate the very worst in people. It started off in a way where it was like, oh, absolutely. Like, let's really put this person on blast for this laundry list of misdeeds. And now it's evolved into, way too much nitpicky stuff where you're twisting people's words and take things out of context. It's just grown too much. I think there's a place for cancel culture when necessary, but it evolves and gets out of hand and out of control. And I think we're in the real nexus of that right now. It's a lot. It's a lot.
And I don't want to get too political either, so I'm not going to, but I'm just going to say we're in this huge moment now since George Floyd, with the protests. It's a time when there can be real systematic change on real issues, and people are going around trying to find like old tweets. It's like, no, I think you're getting distracted. Like, let's get on like the big important issues. Let's just not cancel someone for an old YouTube video they did in like 2013. And let's understand that even if someone did do something problematic in the past, like, they can change, they can evolve. Like, listen to what they have to say, let them apologize, let them say, hey, I had these views, I had these like weird political views, I made this, this bad joke, I said something offensive like 5 years ago, I don't stand by it now, it's not who I am, I regret it, I'm embarrassed by it, I'm not going to do it again. And like, maybe give them a chance. Like, don't just be like, no, you're cancelled forever. That's how I feel about it.
Well, on that note, in other more important news, Gwyneth Paltrow is releasing a new candle. This is so stupid. I'm giving this like a minute of my time. She's releasing a new candle that smells like her orgasm. And, previously she's had one notoriously smelling like her vagina. So what next? Are we going to have like her underarms, ass cheeks? I mean, where do we go from here?
Look, I don't know, but I got to say, I absolutely love Gwyneth Paltrow. I love that she's been hated on for this whole Goop thing for as long as I can remember. I mean, it's got to be over like 10 years now she's been dragged for Goop. I love that she sticks by it. I love that since that stupid vagina candle went viral that she's bringing out new candles like This Is My Orgasm. I'm sure she's making heaps of money off it. I love it. I don't care what candle she brings out. I'm sure there'll be people that will buy it, she'll be running all the way to the bank. I think good on her.
I enjoy Gwyneth for all the ridiculous reasons. I love that Goop gift guide, gift exchange at the end of the year. Every year I have that on this podcast. I mean, I love all that. I love the ridiculous of it all. And that's why I enjoy her. This is such a marketing gimmick. In a way, you got to give her some credit. It smells like roses and berries is what it actually is. But, the marketing behind it is great. And for only $75 US, you yourself can smell Gwyneth's orgasm. So there you go. There's a little hot tip for you.
I love it. Go Gwyneth.
Oh, man. Well, this is where I leave you. We're at the end, but thank you for coming on. This has been a long time coming.
I know. I have to come on again. I love your podcast, and thanks for having me back on.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll have you on again. I love you guys for listening. I hope you enjoy this kind of like choose your own part that you want to listen to. Let me know what you think. All right, Jacques, good to talk to you. And as always, there'll be more rants to come.
Thank you. Bye.
This has been Grant's Rants. Support the Rants on Patreon at patreon.com/Grant's Rants. Follow Grant on Twitter and Instagram at It's Grant's Rants. Cover art created by Howie Ronay. Original theme music by Alexander Arntzen. The Grant Michael Collection.